Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
The debate begins on the Economic Empowerment Bill 2018.
Gaming Minister Dionisio de Aguilar gives a breakdown of that new tax study.
All prescription medication and other items to be VAT-free come next Wednesday.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, the debate over the Economic Empowerment Zone Bill 2018 got off to a heated start in the House of Assembly this morning, with Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis blasting past Progressive Liberal Party administrations for ignoring the poor. His comments did not sit well with Anglerston Member of Parliament Glenys Hanna-Martin, who fired back. Jasmine Brown reports.
The Prime Minister gave a lengthy communication in the House of Assembly as he insisted the bill will empower the poor. However, Hanna-Martin had a much different view. The government introduced a white paper for its Over the Hill Rejuvenation Initiative earlier this year.
Over the Hill is my baby, and I'm a gynecologist and obstetrician. She would expect me to deliver this safely. She would expect no miscarriages, and certainly not a stillbirth. So I have assured her that I will deliver, and deliver over the hill safely.
The Economic Empowerment Zones Bill 2018 was tabled in Parliament 2 weeks ago. The bill details tax exemptions and benefits for residents and businesses in the designated zones. Once it is brought into force, the bill will expire on July 1st, 2023. In Parliament Wednesday, Minnis was in attack mode as he hit out at the PLP, which he says abandoned the poor.
Sadly, those first PLP administrations failed to implement many of the plans to transform Over the Hill. Over the decades, the PLP largely abandoned. They abandoned Over the Hill. Let me repeat, they abandoned. You abandoned us.
The Prime Minister said the bill was the first step in transforming the Bains and Grantstown community into an economic hub. It was a statement that was music to the ears of Bains and Grantstown MP Travis Robinson.
I've got joy like a fountain, I've got peace like a river, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul.
But Anglerston MP Glenys Hanna-Martin was not amused or impressed.
I do not want anyone, Mr. Speaker, singing a lullaby in this Parliament when they know that our critical safety net is filled with holes and people are falling through mercilessly.
Hanna-Martin insisted the bill delivers nothing for the poor.
Many people are unemployed or underemployed. Many people are on minimum wage. Almost everyone, every day, especially after the implementation of a harsh increase of value-added tax on almost everything consumed by our citizens, is experiencing a diminishing or non-existent consumption power in the marketplace. This will undoubtedly have an effect on the quality of life.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, the 5% tax for gaming patrons has been put on hold pending the completion of a new gaming tax study. Now, while all gaming operators are waiting and watching to see what the government decides on the back end of that analysis, the minister responsible for gaming says he doesn't expect anything to change. Here's Jillian Gray.
Despite government's decision to embark on a tax study for the gaming industry in the face of tremendous pushback and threatened layoffs, Minister responsible for gaming Dionisio de Aguilar said regardless of that study, he seriously doubts the Minnis administration will lower or change the new gaming tax structure in any way.
They've made allegations, they've produced reports, and so we're just seeking to verify or to see whether there's any truth to the matter. But
and if it is true, is the government willing to go back on?
No. The government is seeking to maintain the tax regime that it has implemented, and that will not be budged.
D'Aguilar could not say how much the study cost or give the name of the firm conducting the study. However, he said it should be completed in 6 weeks. The heavily criticized 5% tax for gaming patrons has been put on pause in order for operators to update their POS systems. D'Aguilar slammed claims that the government is backpedaling and just now doing its due diligence with this tax study. He added that the new tax structure is in an effort to right-size the profits the government receives from that industry.
There are definite social costs to this business. There is definitely an effect that this business is having on our communities, and everybody complains about it. Everybody knows what it is. So we're seeking to right-size the government to get its fair share of the gaming industry.
Now, while D'Aguilar said the study will not affect the new tax structure that will be implemented in August, he did say that it could affect tax structures in the future.
Everybody recognizes that the gaming industry is woefully undertaxed. The people that operate these gaming houses, we all know, are making a lot of money, and the government feels that it must get its fair share. And even if it needs to be tweaked, we'll tweak it, but not certainly in the last 360, certainly not in the upcoming year. They've been making out like bandits for quite some time.
The new sliding scale tax and proposed 5% stamp tax on patron deposits has been called a death warrant by one web shop boss and has also been criticized by opposition leader Philip Davis, who warned that the new tax could drive some gaming operators back underground. Reporting for our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
The Minister of National Insurance is defending government's decision to award a no-bid contract worth millions of dollars to a new contractor to complete a new national security office meant to be a replica of the Paul L. Adderley building. This despite members of the Minnis administration repeatedly accusing their predecessors of issuing no-bid contracts. Jared Higgs tells us more.
Minister of the Public Service and NIB Brensel Roll says government awarded a no-bid contract for the completion of a national security building on JFK Drive. No-bid contracts is something members of the Minnis administration have repeatedly accused the former government of during their contributions in recent budget debates. Well, with reports swirling that this contract, said to be $4.6 million, didn't go through the tender process, Roll says it was a time-sensitive matter.
How was that second contractor chosen? Was it a tender process?
No, we made a determination based on the performance of the contractor, and we pushed for time because the furniture for the building was already ordered and they will be here very shortly, so we awarded it to a contractor who we believe could complete the building as short as possible time.
The building is meant to be a replica of the Paul Adderley building, which was built to house the Attorney General's office. The former administration reportedly awarded a contract for the construction of the new building to Holiday Industrial Builders International Limited back in 2014. At the time, former Minister of Works Nico Grant criticized the Christie administration for awarding a contract to what he described as a non-performing contractor, stemming from HIB's failure to previously complete construction of the Attorney General's office. Jones Construction Company was contracted to complete that building in 2009, and according to Roll, a different company will complete the replica building as well.
Basic thing is, when we came to office, this building was incomplete. It was supposed to have been completed earlier. We met with the contractor. We agreed on a completion date. That date was not met, and subsequently we moved on to another contractor.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has criticized the former administration's habit of issuing no-bid contracts. When asked what made this situation different, Roll pointed to a tight deadline. However, the building has sat virtually untouched in the year since the Minnis administration took office.
The issue is it's not a question of no bid. The timetable we have would not allow us to do that, specifically because furniture has been ordered. They will be in a specific time. And so we have to make the good judgment to find someone who's performing and who's done work on behalf of the government and who has the ability to complete the work.
Roll was unable to state the specific cost of the contract awarded. Paul Adderley building, considered a replica building, was slated to cost about $5.9 million. However, those costs were revealed to have skyrocketed to just over $14 million. The NIB minister says the former contractor has threatened legal action. Reporting for our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
House Speaker Halson Moultrie making a case to relocate the House of Assembly today. This is not the first time a new location for the House of Assembly has come up.
As the member for Kalani spoke, I had a vision of a new parliament rising, in the words of Sir Lyndon, rising like the ashes, rising like a phoenix from the demolition ashes of the old post office building. To see a new parliament not over the hill, but on top of the hill, overlooking the hill.
Proposals were put forward for the construction of a new parliament building. However, those plans did not materialize. At the time, members of the then Minnis-led opposition said, while the country is in need of a new House of Assembly, there are more pressing issues to deal with. Force must be matched with force. Those are the words of Minister of National Security Marvin Dames, who says while he does not condone police shootings, he understands that in certain situations, officers must act with force.
More than 80% of the homicides are committed with persons brandishing firearms. More than 80% of the armed robberies are committed with persons brandishing firearms. An officer is taught, and I'm not here standing up advocating shooting someone else, but whenever his or her life is in imminent danger, they have every right to use the force necessary, all right, to protect themselves and at large the community.
Dames says they are aware of issues that police-involved shootings present and are working to change how the community views officers. As cases before the coroner's court seem to be piling up, Dames says they are reviewing ways to speed up those cases so that justice is served swiftly.
If he or she feels that they would have shot someone and it was justifiable, he or she wants to know that there is a process, and that process moves quick enough to vindicate them. And likewise, for the person who may have been shot, his family wants to know too. All right, his or her family wants to know too that justice is swift enough so that at the end of the day, that they get the true facts and they're pleased at the end of the day with the outcome.
Still to come on our news, a look at the list of VAT-free medications as of August 1st. Plus, Shark Tank meets Shark Week. That's coming up when our news returns.